Hey, truth seekers, welcome back. Zach here. It's March 14th, 2017, the day known as Pi Day, officially since 1988. If you go back to your geometry class, pi, pi, the mathematical symbol used to calculate circumference, area of a circle. Here's an article written by CNN. It talks about the first Pi Day, who celebrated it. I want to begin this Pi Day special, and this is going to be a mind-blowing video, so stay tuned from start to finish. We're going to start with pi and go beyond that. We're going to solve the riddle from the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy about the number 42 and more. So anyway, let's just pay attention right here. It says pi is the ratio of the circumference of a circle to its diameter. Remember, the circumference, the distance around the circle, the diameter, the line that fits perfectly across the entire circle. You know, that same diameter goes around the entire circle perfectly. Pi is the ratio of circumference of a circle to its diameter. It's not equal to the ratio of any two whole numbers. So an approximation, 22 divided by 7, is used in many calculations. For this video, we're going to start right here with this information about 22 divided by 7 in regards to the English alphabet and the language of Gematria, the ancient knowledge dating back thousands of years, the practice of coding numbers into words. The English alphabet is based very much on pi, and the reason that is so is because pi has to do with cycles and circles, and we live in a world of cycles and circles. One of the most important, the orbit of the Earth and the Sun, which we'll touch more on as we move along. Just had to make sure the microphone's on. Wouldn't be the first time I started a video and forgot to turn the mic on. It's on. Let's move along. If you write out 360 using the English alphabet as words, and you make A1, B2, C3, D4 up to Z, the 26th letter, Z is 26. If you use the alphabet as a numeric sequence, as alphabets of the past are, such as Hebrew, ancient Greek, 360 sums to 227. And remember, 360 degrees in a circle, and to get the approximation of pi, you divide 22 by 7. Making matters even more interesting, if you write out 22 divided by 7, this mathematical shorthand of getting to pi, close approximation, 22 divided by 7 sums to 314. Just like 3.14, the number that is pi, why March 14th, or 3/14 as we write it in the US, is Pi Day. In Gematria, mathematics also sums to 112. Think about that. 1 plus 1 equals 2. The basics, the beginning. Mathematics, 112. Circle, using the alphabetic order, where Z is 1 and A is 26, interrelated method, circle is 112. The mathematics of the circle, what the English alphabet is structured around. Interesting, out of mathematical words, one that connects is subtract. Subtraction also has the same gematria as Masonic. We're going to talk a bit about the Freemasons. I want you to notice that the word math also has gematria 42, 42, the answer to the universe in the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. We'll get to it. Real quick, I want to talk about order. Order in the alphabet. The first 6 letters of the alphabet have a gematria of 33 and 141. If you write out 33 as a word, it sums to 60 and 141. 60 is interesting because the word order has gematria of 33 and 60. So that's the first 6 letters of the alphabet. The reason that's interesting is because the numerology of 33 is 3 plus 3 is 6. Just like the numerology of order in ordinal 60, the numerology of 60 is 6 plus 0 equals 6. The first 6 letters of the alphabet sum to 33 and 141. The last 6 letters of the alphabet also sum to 33 and 141. The alphabetic order, very well sequenced, very well mathematically thought out. What I am showing you is just the beginning. Alphabetic order in Gematria also sums to 137, which is the 33rd prime. Order 33, the first 6 letters, the last 6, 33. Alphabetic order 137, the 33rd prime number. Prime number relationships very important in this study. With regards to alphabetic order also summing to 74, notice that Gematria and English sum to 74. So does the word Masonic, so does the word Jewish, so does occult. Gematria, a Jewish practice, an occult practice. It's esoteric knowledge. So now, understanding this language within words, let's apply this to the number 42 in the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Before we look at these numbers on the screen, let's just read a little bit here from the article. The article titled, "Yes, the answer to the universe really is 42." This article was written in 1996. If you take the numbers that divide into 42, the divisors of 42, and add them together, they sum to 96. 42, 96, a special pairing in Gematria. Freemason has Gematria 42 and 96, the word knowledge, and others. Freemasons pride themselves on being the keepers of knowledge. Here's what it says. Cambridge astronomers have found that 42 is the value of an essential scientific constant, one which determines the age of the universe. At the end of this video, we'll talk about the word universe. In his novel, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, from 1979, Mr. Adams describes how an alien race programs a computer called Deep Thought. Who wants to guess the gematria of Deep Thought? To provide the ultimate answer to life, the universe, and everything. After 7.5 million years calculation, back came the answer, 42. Just wait. In slightly less time, 2 years, a team at the Cavendish Laboratory has managed the same feat using a new technique to estimate the value of the Hubble constant. This measures how quickly objects in the universe are receding from each other, a natural outcome of the Big Bang. Remember Big Bang, who wants to guess the gematria of Big Bang? That created the universe. Dr. Richard Saunders, who led the research, sounded a trifle abashed by the result. We have taken 2 measurements for the constant, and the average of them is, well, it's 42, he said. But he insisted this is entirely fortuitous, though thousands of fans of the Hitchhiker novels might disagree. So the machine that thought it up was called Deep Thought, which equals 42, and as we'll get to with Big Bang, it also sums to 42. Let us continue on. There's so much more to this. Mr. Adams said yesterday that when he wrote the novel 20 years ago, he chose the number especially for its pathetic nature. I wanted a nice, ordinary number, one that you wouldn't mind taking home and introducing to your parents. But later he realized that the choice was no accident. Understand that this story he's telling people is complete bullshit. The reason he chose the number is because he's a Freemason, which we'll get to. When he was working for John Cleese's film company, Video Arts, as a prop borrower, he and the other writers picked 42 for its amusing qualities as a punchline. The Hubble constant indicates the age of the universe because if we know how quickly everything is flying apart, we can work out how long ago it was all together at this same point. Like working out how long a film has been running by measuring the film and knowing how many frames per second it shows. Astronomers have bickered for decades about the constant's value, calculating it to be anywhere between 20 and 80. But large values imply the universe is younger than its oldest stars, a logical conundrum which the new value avoids, said Dr. Saunders, as it puts the universe's age at about 16 billion years. Remember that number 16? It has gematria of 42. The Cambridge team produced the measurement by combining data from X-ray telescopes with information about cosmic background radiation, leftover energy in space from Big Bang, which has gematria of 42. Dr. Saunders insists future revisions will alter the value of the constant from its present resonant value that would suit Mr. Adams. It does come up awfully often, he said. So you might have noticed the word Savior has gematria 42, New Testament equals 42, the first published Bibles, 42-line Bibles. It begins with the 42 generations to Jesus. That's all part of this greater 42 coding, which comes back to Freemasonry, the people who pride themselves on being the invisible architects of this world we live in. The word architects 42, the word building, the Freemasons are builders. History equals 42, knowledge, his story, as in the Mason's story. Here's just some relevant 42 that we haven't talked about. Math, 42. Again, Big Bang, 42. Outer Space, 42. Freemason, 42. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy has a lot to do with outer space. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy in Gematria sums to 139, just like Freemasonry. I should also mention that America has Gematria of 139. The word 16, the universe being 16 billion years old, 16 has all sorts of special gematria, very sacred number. There's a reason they call it Sweet 16 in our culture. Just know that 16 has the 42 connection. So check this out. In the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, the way it is written, the answer is life, the universe, and everything. That's what applies to 42. The word Freemason has gematria of 42. Freemasonry, again, 139, like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Look at this. Look at this. Life, the universe, and everything sums to 147. Big Bang has gematria of 147. Freemason, gematria of 147. Conspiracy, gematria of 147. Outer space, gematria of 147. Again, outer space and Freemason also have the 42 connection. They say at the White House there's 147 windows, and from the beginning, it's been nothing but Freemasonry in Washington, D.C. Look at the title President of the United States. I'm just going to get rid of this S exception. President of the United States has gematria of 147. The first recognized president, George Washington, has gematria of 74. Like Masonic, 74. Like Jewish, like holiday, like Independence Day, which is 74. Again, English 74, gematria 74. You see how gematria also has gematria of 142? If you write out 42, it sums to 142. Out of everything in outer space, the most important thing to the Freemasons is Saturn. I just want you to see outer space again, 42. Saturn shares this gematria of 42. You see? 42, ever so significant. And it is the riddle of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. This is what the Freemasons do with all of their media. This is way bigger than Hitchhiker's Guide, bigger than the film Pi. They like to tease us with the truth and put the truth in front of us and attach it to a fictional story, such as his reasoning for why 42 was chosen. You know, NASA, which is run by Freemasonry, NASA was established in 58, right? Freemasonry 58, secret society. When spelled correctly, spelling is crucial. Secret Society 58. Annuit Coeptus on the dollar bill 58. You know. Freemasonry, a lot of it goes back to Solomon's Temple 58. Freemasonry based in Jewish history. This is what it's all about. NASA, established in 58, run by Freemasons. I almost forgot to mention that science has Gematria 58. And remember, Freemasonry created our language. Science, instrumental. The Freemasons, they're about control. They want to control information, knowledge, science. You got to be in control, and they are in control. And they mock us through their outlets, including Hollywood. So many things in this world are run by Freemasonry. Hollywood, one of them. So I think we uncovered all of that mystery, but we still got a lot more in this video. Told you this is the... Let me just show you a few more, just so you can appreciate them. New Testament begins with the 42 generations to Jesus. First printed Bibles, 42-line Bibles. You know, said it before, I just want you to see it. History, 42. Knowledge, 42. Notice the 42-96 relationship, just like Freemason. And all of the numbers that divide into 42, its divisors, they sum to 96. This website, Gematrinator, it's linked in the description. You can do everything on this website. You can calculate distances between dates. So many things here to play with. You know, if you want to see how it looks spelled out, just click the method above. It'll give you the reading, the breakdown. You can look at the cipher on the right side of the screen. For each method, it'll change the cipher. You can check them all out. You can add extra ciphers. There's more and more to know, Truth Seeker. But here's something I'm looking at tonight. Tonight, it's March 14th, Pi Day. It's Steph Curry's birthday. One of the biggest stars in the NBA. He's playing at home against the Philadelphia 76ers. That's interesting because the Warriors are originally from Philadelphia. The Philadelphia Warriors won the first professional basketball championship at the end of the 46-47 season, defeating the Chicago Stags. The name Warriors in Gematria sums to 49, just like Revelation. And the city Philadelphia gets its name from Revelation, the final book of the Bible. The number 227, remember 22 divided by 7 gives us pi. 227 is the 49th prime number. Warriors equals 49, Revelation 49, the original capital Philadelphia. You should know that Washington also equals 49, the new capital. But 227, the 49th prime. The Warriors and 76ers just played not long ago, and the game ended in a sum of 227 points. And when this happened, I put out a video and I said the next time they play is on Pi Day, and don't be surprised if the game sums to 227 points again. The 76ers lost with 108. That's the number for geometry, you know, like pi, mathematics. Notice how geometry is the same forwards and back. Gematria is geometry within the language. Golden State Warriors also has Gematria of 108. When spelled correctly, what's wrong here? Oh yeah, there it is. Golden State Warriors 108. Just had to locate it with my eyes on the screen, front and center. The game one of the NBA Finals 2 years ago between the Cavs and Warriors, where the Warriors went on to win the NBA Finals. They won game one with 108 points. Anyway, last time these teams played, very significant score. They're playing again tonight, Pi Day. Today's date has 54 numerology. Oracle in Gematria sums to 54 for you Warriors fans, in case any of you are watching. Remember, your 54-game win streak was snapped at home? And look at that. Oracle's 108 in reverse. Show you something else about Oakland and Golden State that's cool. Oakland's 58, Golden State 58, like Freemasonry. Huey P. Newton established the Black Panthers in Oakland. Huey P. Newton, 58. Cam Newton, a blood relative, NFL, became the 58th quarterback to start in a Super Bowl hosted by the 49ers from the Bay Area. Notice Huey P. Newton also sums to 131. So does Super Bowl. Cam Newton became the 58th quarterback to start in the Super Bowl, blood relative of Huey P. Newton. The date of this game where it finished 227 points was February 27th, 2/27. So we'll see what happens tonight. Can they give us another mathematical tribute to pi? Will the game end in 227 points? We'll see. I'll also be interested to see if somebody scores 88 points. That would likely be the losing team. Because Pi Day began in 88. This offseason, the Warriors acquired Kevin Durant on July 4th, 88 days from his birthday and 88 days from Steph Curry's birthday. The number 8 symbolizes the infinite loop of time. Again, pi, cycles, and circles. Here's what I wanted to show you in this article. It talks about the man who created Pi Day in 1988. I almost skipped this, but I was reminded with the Warriors there in that 88 reference. Did you know that last year the Warriors won exactly 88 games before losing the NBA Finals, letting the Cavs come back from 3-1, and then LeBron James winning on the real King James's birthday? Anyway, the man who established Pi Day is named Larry Shaw. And Larry Shaw sums to 55 like Pi Day. He established it in 88. What's interesting is Fibonacci in Gematria sums to 55. So does numerology. The Fibonacci sequence is God's mathematical spiral. It's the sequence where it goes 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21. The pattern I'm doing is I'm adding the last two numbers. So I just said 13, 21. You add those numbers together, the next number's 34. Then you add 34, 21, the last two numbers, 55. Then you add 55, 34, 89. When we just hit 55, 55 is the 10th Fibonacci number. 55 is the 10th Fibonacci number. When you count 1 through 10 and add them together, it sums to 55. So 10 and 55 have this major relationship. Numerology has Gematria 55, Fibonacci 55, Pi Day 55, Larry Shaw 55. The reason this matters is because of this. There's a film out there called Pi. It came out in 1998. It's about a man searching for a mathematical solution to what he sees happening in the world, from the stock market and beyond. He's searching for this special mathematical equation, and he's chasing the number 216. Chasing the number 216. In Kabbalah, which is Jewish mysticism, that number represents God. If you multiply 6 times 6 times 6, the number of the beast, it sums to 216. Anyway, the film Pi, down below, I'm going to link this video. You have to watch this clip. This is 3 minutes and 14 seconds cut by the film studio that made the film, where in the film they're introducing Gematria, Pi, and the Fibonacci sequence. They're introducing these things in the film. You see all of this in the 3 minute and 14 second sequence. A Jewish man explains to another Jewish man that the Torah, the Jewish holy book, is written in the language of Gematria, and the entire book is a mathematical sequence from start to finish. The other guy's a math head trying to find this solution to the stock market and everything else, chasing 216. And when they put their heads together, they rub off on each other a little bit. Anyway, this clip right here introduces these things, and it shows how Gematria works in Hebrew in the Torah. And just what it shows you in this video is mind-blowing. You know, what was introduced in Pi is mind-blowing. And I wish I'd seen this movie when I was younger and learned about Gematria. I learned about Gematria 15 years after this movie came out, you know? So it was 15 years that went by before I was clued in. But anyway, one more thing I want to show you about Pi. What I learned today that is fascinating and also related. Pi is the 16th letter of the Greek alphabet. The ancient Greek alphabet, 26 letters based in numbers. New Testament, written in Greek. Pi is the 16th letter. That is significant. We talked about how 16 connects to 42. 16 also has the gematria of 33. So does phi, which sounds a lot like pi. Phi is what is known as the golden ratio, this special mathematical ratio that shows up in life because it's interrelated with the Fibonacci sequence, the numbers we just talked about. 1, 1, 2, 3, 5. You know, where 55 is the 10th one. Phi works like this. You take a Fibonacci number and you divide the one that came before it. Every time you divide like this, a Fibonacci number, and then divide it by the one that came before it, we could just do this on a calculator, but just get out a calculator and do this yourself. Every time you do it, you get closer to phi, the golden ratio, 1.61. And in the movie, they talk about this. They show this same calculation, and what he shows in the movie is 233 divided by 144 gets you very close to phi, the golden ratio. But every time you do this, with the Fibonacci sequence, it gets closer and closer. So phi has gematria of 33, 16 has gematria of 33. Only two numbers when written out sum to 33. The other is 90, like the degrees in a right angle, which we'll get to in a second. But think about it. Pi is the 16th letter. It's related with the Fibonacci sequence in phi. You know, they're introducing this in this film. The writer of the film, his name's Darren, which equals 33 in gematria as well. You know, a lot of 33 in Hollywood. Hollywood's 33. Like masonry, like secrecy. So the last thing to touch on, just review for those of you who have already been watching my videos, this all comes back to Freemasonry. The symbols of the Freemasons are the compass and square with the big G in the middle. Big G represents 33. It also represents 42. And just so you can appreciate this, we need Sumerian gematria and we need Francis Bacon gematria. And that's all we need to make this point about G. The letter G in Francis Bacon represents 33. The letter G in Sumerian represents 42. Francis Bacon makes lowercase letters A through Z equal 1 through 26 and uppercase A through Z 27 through 52. You know, we can use the cipher and it shows us. Or it looks, oh, he just wrote it in here. Add 26 for each capital letter. Okay. But that's the way it works. Uppercase A through Z 27 through 52. Lowercase a through lowercase z 26. G's the 7th letter. So G is 7 plus 26, 33 in Francis Bacon. In Sumerian, you just multiply each letter times 6. G's 7 times 6. A is 6, B is 12. Also, in Satanic Gematria, G's also 42. Satanic Gematria, very interesting cipher. Think about this. It begins with A is 36 and Z is 61. Instead of A is 1, Z is 26. If you count 1 through 36 and add them together, it sums to 666. Satanic Gematria, which begins with 36 as the first letter, Satanic Gematria sums to 666 in Satanic Gematria. You know? 36, 360 degrees, and a circle. The point is, I'm just introducing you to another cipher because there's a lot of relevant ciphers. The more knowledge you have, the further you can go with this study. Let's bring it back to the Freemason compass and square. The big G can represent 33 and 42. The compass, which is for making circles, is set at 47 degrees. 47 degrees. Let me just reset this here. The word time, using the alphabetic order, sums to 47. The tropics, the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn, which are used to measure the solstices, you know, when summer begins, when winter begins, the natural way of telling time, the tropics are 47 degrees apart. 23.5 degrees north, 23.5 degrees south, the same angles the compass is set at in the Freemason compass and square. And this is the same way that Washington, D.C. is structured. The streets of Washington, D.C., named after the 33rd degree Freemason George Washington. So you have a 47-degree set compass, which is a tribute, to time, the sun, the great circle to follow and understand in this world, the compass for measuring circles, for your geometry class. You also have the 90-degree square, and 90 is the number like 16 that connects to 33. The only two. So you have 137 degrees of angles. Just to show off a part of this calculator, you click the numbers tab up at the top, you punch in a number, and it'll show you if it's a prime number. 137 is a prime number. It's the 33rd prime number. And with regards to Washington, D.C. being situated around the compass and square, Washington, D.C., 137, authority, 137, the 33rd prime, federal 33. Real quick, don't overlook the Washington, D.C. 187. George Washington, also 187. Donald Trump had his GOP convention July 18th, 18/7, 187 days before Inauguration Day. This 187 number is connected to killing throughout history. It's also connected to time in satanic gematria. Interesting. 187. The night of the election, Donald Trump was in Rockefeller Plaza. He is part of the Jesuit order, which is known as the Society of Jesus. 187. Anyway, the 137 degrees of angles around the big G, which represents 33, 137, the 33rd prime. This all comes back to the tropics, the world we live in, the measurement of time, the Freemasons being the keepers of knowledge, having this knowledge, coding it into our language, not letting the masses know about it. With regards to these 23.5 degree angles, on the dollar bill, the all-seeing eye pyramid is at an angle of 23.5 degrees. And don't forget that annuit coeptus equals 58 like Freemasonry. The Freemasons also have something called Euclid's 47th problem about how to establish foundation for a structure. Foundation. Check this out. Foundation, 47. Framework, 47. Authority, when spelled correctly, 47. Words such as obey have gematria 47. Judge, gavel. Washington, D.C. for the president, president 47. Like White House, 47. Like government, 47. Like Republican, 47. Like Democrat, 47. So, Truth Seeker, I think we put every single nail in the board that we wanted to. For any Freemasons out there who haven't learned these things, let's close out with this last one. Masonic 223. Measure twice, cut once. 223. 223, another very special number to this nation. The history of the Bible. So many other things in this world. Understand this world is under a Masonic Zionist leadership. That's what the Catholic Church is a part of. This is what the New World Order is. And the New World Order works by the numbers. New World Order, number of the beast. And don't overlook those 174 endings. The 74 is what's crucial. English, the language of the New World Order, which is very Masonic and very Jewish. Until next time.